how rejection therapy is going to change your whole entire life 180. I was about to say 360. So 360 would be going back to the same spot. So 180, okay? How rejection therapy is going to change your life, okay? Every single time I made moves and I went out into the world and I actually spoke to people that I didn't want to speak to or did things that I didn't want to do, my life got 10 times better. Why is that? Because I actually was doing the things that I was afraid of. So when I spoke to that person that was fearful, even though I got rejected, I still feel 1% better because I actually kind of rejected myself. But you know what? Soon, with enough rejection, I will get there. I will get there because I'm not afraid to be seen, and I'm not afraid and I'm not hiding from my own shadow, okay? And it's so important that you too aren't hiding from yourself and you're going to make moves with your life. So there was actually one experience recently. It was really embarrassing and I'm going to share it, okay? This was the most embarrassing thing that I've done probably ever. So basically there's this guy that would walk, and he would walk by sunrise and sunset every single day, and he was always on the other side of the street, so I was always on one side of the street, and I always thought that he was like so handsome. He's actually gorgeous. And I was like, wait, why am I on the wrong side of the road? So what I did was I chose to be more towards his side of the road, so I'll actually be seen, like get in proximity to him, okay? So I crossed the road, and obviously he shows up during sunset one day when he was walking, and I was like, hey, I always see you walking. And he's like, yeah, I always walk. And then he just walks off. I was like, why'd he walk off? So then I continued, because rejection therapy, like who cares? And I was feeling it. And I was like, oh my god, like I got into a little conversation, and then I was like, oh, are you single? And he's like, no, I'm actually married. And then he walks off, and I'm like, okay, there's my answer. It hurt in the moment, but actually he was married, and I tried, but at the same time I feel so much better because now I don't even care. Like, okay, I'm not thinking about him as an option anymore because he's married, and like it's just not worth it for my energy to even think about him now because I rejected myself, and I just feel so much more at ease. Like, why should I even think about him now? Because if I didn't make myself go and do that scary thing, I would keep thinking about him like he's single because he always walks alone. But he's married, or maybe he just lied to me and he's not interested. But either way, who cares? Like, I rejected it. Like, rejection therapy, I just went forward and I did it, and it wasn't for me, and that's it. But I have more experiences like that where I was just being more myself, which is my highest self is going after what I want. And after enough tries, you get there. So Lila Hermosi talks about this, and she says that when you keep trying, like if you do the same thing on repeat, or you just keep trying at something, that no matter what, you're just gonna keep trying at it because you know that if you keep putting in the work, it's gonna show up. And I haven't watched her videos in a little bit of time, but basically that's kind of like her energy, where she just always just keep working at it no matter what. She's keep trying, and she's showing up as her highest self, and then obviously it's gonna work. It's not like luck at this point. And a lot of people speak about this, like you're not just gonna get lucky, because you're actually gonna put in the work and it's gonna show you, right? So a lot of times if I don't put in the work, let's say for example, simple working out, right? If I'm not doing yoga every single day, then when I skip a day, the next day is gonna be 10 times harder because I'm just so stiff, my body's hurting. But if I'm doing yoga every single day for a good half hour or more, I'm gonna feel my best self. I'm gonna feel flexible. I'm gonna feel like I can keep being less in my head, more my body. I just feel more at ease, more at flow, because yoga is like life changing for me. It has recovered so much like PTSD and just so much traumas that my body has gotten released from yoga. And I know for myself, if I don't put in the reps, I'm not gonna feel good. And like, let's say if I go work out, if I'm jogging or if I'm walking, if I do it every single day, I'm gonna feel so good because I'm doing this every single day, and it's making me feel very free and very at ease. But if I don't do it one day, obviously it's gonna be harder. But same also with rejection therapy. If you're not putting yourself out there every single day, if you're not trying things that are kind of scaring you a little bit, like those interactions, then you're just gonna feel like in your safe space all the time, and it's not as freeing. And also, I think that I used to be a little more afraid before I read and I studied a lot of Robert Greene's work, and his books are life changing, and I want to get back into it more. I would read like a paragraph every single morning aloud to myself. Like I would read it out loud and I would study it and I would highlight. This went on for like a good year, and I was really into reading out loud because it helped me be more literate, and it was just so healing. And basically Robert Greene shares this, that if you are not as much afraid to put yourself out there, most people are all up in their head. They're worried about what they're wearing, what they're thinking. Everyone's just thinking about themselves. Like if you think right now that like your crush or that person is thinking about like, oh my god, I tripped, or this or that, whatever happened, let's say like embarrassing, nobody is thinking about it. They maybe thought about it for one half a second, and they're back to thinking about all their things that they have to worry about, their problems, or just themselves, like self-centered. Everybody's thinking about themselves, and I'm also a lot of times thinking about myself. But if you can become out of your head and more thinking about the other person, and you have to be like charismatic about this, you have to be seductive about this, you can't be thinking about yourself, and you just, let's say, compliment somebody else. Like I had another example, and I thought this guy was really cute, and I complimented his eyes once, and then he's like, oh my god, what's your name, what's your number, and like we became friends. Like we became more than friends, but then it didn't end up working out. But that was just proving to me that when I make a move, or when I like somebody or want something, with enough reps or with enough times, like it's gonna work. So you have to check out Robert Greene's work, because it's actually so cool, and it's super healing too. It's freeing also, because you're not thinking about yourself. And as soon as you get into the other person's mind, and you get into their mind, and you're like, hey, what am I gonna do to seduce them, to make them think about me, because now they're gonna like me 10 times better because I'm coming into their head, and I'm like complimenting them or asking them questions about themselves, and really trying to get like into their own life. And really don't be afraid to get into the details. Like don't be afraid to like ask the person what they do for a living, how they do it, their whole process, because a person loves speaking about themselves. So if you can get a man or a woman to speak about themselves, they already love you by 100 million times more because they're speaking about themselves, and they won't even remember, like they won't even be worried about anything about you, because they already love you, because you just got them to talk about themselves. Basically, it's a really cool power. It's like a superhero. It's a superhero. You become a superhero, and it's like a power that you can just keep under your belt. And you can talk to anyone. You can literally talk to anyone when you have this power. Like a lot of people are just too obsessed. They're too worried about what the other person's thinking. But nobody's thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. So this is the easiest way that you can get out of yourself and get into somebody else's life, especially if you want to change ways that you're living and you are afraid that people are thinking about you. They aren't. And if they are, it's just for a little bit, and then they already moved on. Like, don't be embarrassed if something happened in your life and you felt like, oh god, I'm so embarrassed, like people watched me do this and this. And sometimes like if something happens, or if I'm like being all like nervous, or like walking and like being like, oh my god, my skirt, or like my I have a hole, or like I'm thinking about like my hair or something, and then if I'm just like all nervous, I'm just like, why am I thinking like this? Nobody cares. And then I just remember stopping self-conscious because no one cares. Then I just walk confidently, and I feel so much better. But you have to catch yourself. It's like that, like 7 seconds you have. Like, you have to catch yourself and don't be self-conscious. It's gonna ruin it. So just be like more free, and then nobody's gonna care, and then you're just gonna feel better. And it takes a little work, it takes practice. Obviously, it's gonna be like, it takes practice, and fake it till you make it, and then it works. So I hope you took something from this video, and just know that love yourself more, because everyone is obsessed with you and they want to talk to you. Think like that, and then it's gonna actually manifest into existence. Okay, anyways, if you think that one of your friends can benefit from this video, share this with them. Like this video, subscribe down below, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!